Carl Monson here from expatsportugal.com, and this is number 13 of 1,000 Things to Enjoy in Portugal. Named by some as the most Portuguese village in Portugal, Monsanto is found in the municipality of Idanha a Nova, east of Castelo Branco, deep in the interior and close to Spain. Amid the granitic, mountainous landscape, the most photographed parts of this Portuguese wonder are caves and rocks that have been fashioned into human dwellings and defences since antiquity. Over 750 metres above sea level, the Holy Hill, in translation, is best explored on foot and in many layers in the colder months. Make sure to see the Matriz Church, the Panedas Juntos, the huge granite stones that are the foundations of the village, and of course the legendary castle, a national monument where, as well as taking in the magnificent view, you'll sense the atmosphere of Moors, kings and Templars alike. Hola, bom dia. Monson here. Monson and Sanders here, as you can see, with the Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com. How are you today? I didn't sleep at all well last night. I think it might be a slightly sort of is febrile the right word, or excitable atmosphere here in Portugal. Of course, the Portuguese presidential race was won by the incumbent, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa. I thought he was much loved, and it turns out he's not as loved as I thought he was. And we'll have those results to have a look at. But congratulations to Marcelo, as by some he's lovingly known, and I think it will do us well to talk about some of the other controversy, the appalling turnout rate, which you can understand, but what does that mean to the result? Should that possibly void the result, or maybe not? I'm meddling in the constitutional affairs of the country which has welcomed me, and so I don't want to sound like nitpicky or anything like that, but I think it's a very interesting thing to talk about this morning. Portuguese presidential result. What do you make of it? Especially happy to hear from the likes of Graça, who's tuned in this morning. Portuguese people, what do you make of that result last night? What do you make of the fact that the man dubbed far right, that far right movement in Portugal, came in third? What does that tell us as well? But that's a very similar picture to what's going on around the world, isn't it? How I see it, the disenfranchised coming together in a party and putting pressure on the political establishment, and it's not very pleasant. It does freak people out. Understandably as well. But what's really going on underneath the surface? Let's take our characteristically intelligent and wise look at these things, as well as the week ahead. What other news you might want me to have a look at? And I know with feelings running quite high about election results all over the world, possibly you might want to give me a call. The number to do that, if you wanted to come through on WhatsApp and give me a buzz and actually speak on the show, I'm encouraging a lot more of this. I think we should have more people coming through and talking phone-in style, because we get so many comments now. I'm not complaining about that, but the way to stand above the comments is to just call me and do that on 913 590 303, the WhatsApp number, 351, the country code. That's, of course, the number if you want to talk to me at other times, or send me a message as well. The little voice recording facility on WhatsApp is very good. Why don't you send me a message? And I can always play that out on the show as well, as a little message there, a little piece of audio. Marcelo is no longer my president. And maybe you did not sleep so well because you got wet doing your exercise. Was that yesterday? Helping Graça put up a fence. We've got sheep here now, on the Quinta here. Got 2 sheep, and I didn't realize I was as capable a sheep wrangler as I discovered myself to be yesterday. No smutty jokes, please, you British people. How could you sleep with Bernie watching you? Asked Gary. Who's that? So let's go to your early comments coming in on the show. Before we talk about the weather for the week ahead, before we talk about the presence of guests in the week ahead, and also some lovely news. We had a little bit of an appeal last night going out on the Good Morning Portugal Facebook page. Somebody who, a couple, mum, as it turns out now, went into labour early, a couple of months early, I think, and hubby went along to the area district hospital, and there was a bit of a drama last night, understandably so, in these very difficult times for having a baby, but it's all ended well, and I'll tell you more about that in a little while. Eric Willingham, good morning to you. Another fabulous week to be in Portugal. From which point of view, or from every point of view, Eric, do tell me what's on your mind there, what's behind your comment. But I'll take it anyway, obviously, Eric. And I think Eric, along with maybe one or two others, has struggled to locate the live stream sometimes. Thanks for a prompt there on that. Best thing to do, I think, folks, if you're a YouTube user, you subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and you'll get your opportunities to get a prompt, won't you, when we go live on air. And similarly on Facebook, you can order a reminder on Facebook. Mark will sort that out. Mark and his team will make sure you get the Good Morning Portugal show piped through to you on Facebook. And on our own website, I mean, I do urge you to go to our website, and I do urge you to become a Premier member on expatsportugal.com. And we have a page there where I have been a little bit inconsistent with posting the shows ahead of time. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it's been a little. We are looking for a solution, obviously, because we'd love the people who are part of our community to be able to watch from the website. But I think the most reliable way, if you have been having trouble, is to subscribe to your favorite platform, either YouTube or Facebook. Thank you, Eric, for your bon dia. Bon dia as well from Nick Steinman, and in London. How you doing, Nick? And Hank Stalika. Bon dia, friends from California. Bon dia, everyone, from Pete. A lovely, sunny, frosty morning here in the compost heap of England. That's no way to talk about Kent or a particular part of Kent. Raining cats and dogs here in sunny California. Yeah, it never rains in Southern California. One of my favorite tunes of all time. A classic, obviously an easy listening classic from what, 70s, and then redone possibly in the 80s or 90s by Turny in an R&B style. Great tune. And UB. It's funny, isn't it? The culture of YouTube it causes people to come up with some very abstract sort of sci-fi names almost. I'm going to go for it. Ubi Ominomen. Bon dia from Cowpatty, Pennsylvania. Cowpatty, Pennsylvania sounds like a lot of fun this morning. How are you doing? I'm going to just call you Ubi, all right? Is that Universal Basic? I don't know. Universal Basic for everyone. Is that a Latin translation there of your name? Tell us more. Imagine that, says Peggy Luttrell. Oh, is this about how how politics is changing globally in our neoliberal capitalist societies, Peggy, possibly? The Algarvenator, of course, Peggy Luttrell. Still, other people, Peggy, are quaking in their boots. They're too scared to face you in a head-to-head to discover which is the best bit of Portugal. We need people to represent the Alentejo. To represent the North and Porto, to represent Central, and to represent Lisbon and the Tejo area, Tejo Valley. But no one is coming forward. Peggy's hat's in the ring, and everyone's scared to take her on. She's right there promoting the Algarve, and no one dare step up into that ring with her. Let's see if that changes over the next few days and weeks. Monsanto, of course, was my featured short this morning. If you were very early into the show, that is number 13 of 1,000 things to enjoy in Portugal. Monsanto. Who's been to Monsanto? Put your hand up. Thank you, Maria, who mentioned that, made that short for you, especially in mind there, Maria. Carolyn in Moscow, bon dia. What's it like there? Crikey, looking at the pictures coming in from Moscow, terrifying response to the supporters of Navalny. Good heavens. Really disturbing pictures there. What's it like from somebody who's on the ground, Carolyn? Prosecco, Peggy in the house there. Yeah, the Algarvenator. Dunk, 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 dunk. Peggy, come on. Who's up for it? Who's up for taking on Peggy in the ring? And from Hank, no coup attempt is always a good thing. Yeah. Do you know what? It was amazing. Political differences aside, and we can see that Grassa's not happy about Marcelo, but it was a really, really amazing reflection of what Portugal was like. The TV coverage, and I'll share the RTP screen with you in a moment with the results on it. But the news media were outside Marcelo's house, and he was getting his stuff out of his car on his own. He didn't have a footman or anything like that, or even any help at all, not even a PA. And he was getting his bag for life or whatever, and his suit carrier out the back of his car whilst chatting to the journalist. Went inside, it looked like a lovely house in Cascais, and he was going home for a bit of dinner. And he came and got something out of his boot and was still talking to them. And this is a man who's about to win his second term. And then going back to the presumably the presidential palace or wherever the vote was being concluded, He was flanked by paparazzis zooming in. These two guys on a motorbike with the camera peering in through the window. And I think he was on a hands-free call to somebody. He is cool as a cucumber, that guy, whether you like him or not. He's very cool. And there is no pomp around this Portuguese president. He's certainly not like Donny, who he got the better of with the old handshake. And none of the, monarchic, is that right? Monarchic pretensions that some presidents might be tempted to go for. Really does seem down to earth. And it's a very good reflection of... there might be a ring of steel around him that you can't see on camera, but it just seems very easygoing and good humoured and good mannered, which is all we've come to expect from being in Portugal, of course. And let's have a look. Peggy saying, yes, it says to some, better the devil you know. That's right. And I suppose it's the polarization of politics as well, isn't it? The devil you know, or the real firebrand change person expressing the absolute frustration of some people who arguably have been marginalized out of the mainstream or the middle classes. It's all right for a lot of people. Well, it's not all right for a lot of people at the moment, but it's better than it is for others who may feel totally disenfranchised and be more minded to vote for a candidate who's a little bit more animated and angry about the situation, for those people who feel their needs haven't been met. Let's have a look. What else have we got coming in on the comments? Thank you so much for these. We will have a look at the weather in just a moment. You know how easily distracted I am. To me, Shega. And that means I had enough. Yeah, so there you go. Grassa happy to say that she voted for Shega, and she's had enough. As I think, that's what that sums up, and that's how it was with Brexit, wasn't it? And it's, to me, politics is such a blunt instrument, and I use the term advisedly, but it is a bloody mess, isn't it? In whatever way you look at it, and that's how you get people expressing their dissatisfaction, and at the same time being aligned with some pretty, in other people's view, pretty grim candidates. Morning, lovely Carl. Morning, lovely Deborah. Thank you very much. What a lovely thing to say. And Fiona's here. Let's do this now, shall we? It's a lovely, before we get bogged down in politics, this is what life is really about. Bon dia. I'm a granny again, says Fiona for the 7th time. That's getting serious. Well, stop. You see, it's locked down. It's going to be a baby boom again. Mum and very early tiny baby. Okay, so feeling blessed. Congratulations to you, Fiona. Let us give the background, shall we, to our friends here. Got a message from Fiona last night to say, could we help out? And help is still needed, actually. So this is still ongoing. Let me just explain to you what the backstory was. But the great thing is, the result is we have Zachary, I believe, born weighing just 3 pounds and 9 ounces, 1.8 kilos. But urgent help was needed in Lay Area last night, and it still is. So stay tuned. Don't relax just yet. Can we help a couple in Lay Area? A pregnant woman has gone into labour early and is now admitted into maternity in Lay Area District Hospital, thanks to the Bombeiros. Dad, however, is stuck near the hospital with little or no cash, no shops open, can't even buy a cigar, and she needs some vital supplies. Anyone over that way who can help without putting themselves at risk, of course, please contact Fiona if you can help. And I go on to say in this post that we put up last night, it was a bit of an emergency late on the Sunday night. I understand people may be reluctant to offer a sofa or a spare room for Dad to kip on under the current conditions. So cash is probably the best option for helping them out, because Mum needs some things. She was rushed into hospital, and there are things she needs of a personal nature that Dad can't afford to get. All the shops are open and whatever. So it was a pretty pass last night for Dad, and obviously very worrying for them, because he couldn't be in the hospital either, as I understand it. But it has resolved well, and we do see here that Zachary is in the world with us now, and at 3 pounds 9, and being helped, supported with some very good care. And love to all, and special respect as well and love to the staff at Lay Area District Hospital. If you can help without putting yourself in any danger, Mum and Dad, who are still a little bit vulnerable and exposed from their Mum's early hospitalization, do get in touch with Fiona. Okay, but what a lovely outcome there, and welcome to the world, little Zachary. Good morning, Aturush from Sintra's Farming Family from Druba. How you doing, my friend? Great to have you here. Congratulations from Peggy to Fiona and the family. Lovely background. Says Anna. I couldn't resist, could I? but I mean, surely everyone knows what's happening here with this man, right? Who's turning up in memes all over the place. I wasn't going to miss out on that. Bernie Sanders, brother of the famous chicken frying entrepreneur, I believe. Very wet and miserable here in Cabanas de Tavira today. We've got to go look at that weather, haven't we? Thanks for that prompt, Paul. Wonder what the week will bring us. Let's find out now, shall we? And we'll share on screen the Expats Portugal weather with you and see how this week is shaping up. What's your guess? I would say chuva. And we can put chuva and chega together in the same sentence there in a different context. Enough rain already. Looking at the capital. And you can see there for yourself, can't you? 16 degrees is not going to be the high today, rising a whole 1 degree from 15. Broken clouds in the capital. 17 tomorrow and 18 on Thursday. But it's all looking cloudy and rainy. Although the amount of rain, and there is this new, what's the new, is it Hortense? Why have we gone from Christoph to Hortense? Don't they go alphabetically? Or is that a reflection of the meteorological chaos that's going on at the moment and a reflection of the chaos in the world? On some levels, okay, yeah, let's be fair. Zachary's just been born. Lots of loveliness is still going on in the world, isn't it? I mean, let's not get whipped up in too much of a frenzy here. Let's be honest about what's going on. But also, people are still being lovely in their millions, billions, all around the world, doing their best, despite some of the external circumstances. I think we need to keep that safely in our hearts and minds as well. So, 18 degrees the high on Thursday. So, cloudy and rainy in the capital. To answer your question, Paul. There it is in new money. Fahrenheit, quickly for you American viewers. Porto, 13 degrees and misty. No surprises there. And rain forecast for the whole week, with a post-midweek high of 16 degrees. So it's definitely getting milder, everybody. This rain will be behind us or under us soon, filling the water table and the reservoirs, hopefully. That's the idea, isn't it? And it will be behind us. The more pragmatic among us Portuguese people do say, well, it's January. What do you expect? It rains in January, and it also rains in April. But, if some people reminding us it's not unusual, but, it's just that we've had so many things to contend with, have we not? Coimbra, overcast with clouds, or overcast with clouds, whichever way you look at it. 18 degree midweek high to look forward to, and a lot of rain and clouds still for central. And but yes, definitely the pattern there. Look, 20 degrees on Thursday, getting milder by the day. Fantastic. Faro, 16 degrees, broken cloud at the moment, and a high, not as high as central actually, but 18, 19 to look forward to midweek. Cloudy more than rainy. So Paul, I think you're going to do okay. It's just going to be a bit of a let up with the rain, perhaps where we need it most in the country down south, of course. And as we've discovered in the last couple of weeks, no rain, no wine. That's all also worth bearing in mind. And there we go. Scrolling down, let's look for the highest temperature, shall we? 20 in Beja midweek. 20 seems to be the national high point for temperatures as it becomes milder, but no less rainy in the week ahead. So there's your weekend weather. Should we go out to the autonomous regions as well? Let's do that, Açores and Madeira. But yeah, 20 the high really, and we're going to enjoy that here in Central and in Beja. Azores, broken clouds at the moment, and yeah, rainy over there. But I'm sure that's not unusual, in the Atlantic at this time of year. Madeira, look at that, Madeira having the best of the weather, which actually is often the case, is it not? That part of the Atlantic, North Africa, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, very sunny. And this, of course, forgot to say, didn't I? Segunda-feira, 25 de janeiro, 2021, the year of 2021. And another sunny day on Friday as well. So there you go. There's your weather done to look forward to. And actually, yeah, there is some something to look forward to weather-wise there. An improvement, mildness to be experienced. Nice to be able to comment again after being sent to the Facebook sin bin. Good work, Gary. I mean, I do see Gary as a fellow elder in the making, and it's nice to see a man so either firm in his conviction or just basically puerile and childish that he's actually been banned from Facebook for a few days. You've stuck it to the man, Gary. Dare you say what it was and how long that worked for? What were you? Are you out for 24 hours? Is that how they do it? Imagine that. These whippersnappers, these little rascals in Silicon Valley punishing an elder such as Gary Austin. How dare they? How dare you, Silicon Valley, speak to Gary like that and treat him like that? Putting an older guy on the digital naughty steps. Disgraceful. We'll get our own way back. We'll get our own way back at these guys, Gary. But thanks for letting us on your platform, guys. at the same time. Joel, so he's changed. He's got another profile by the look of it. Wonder why that is. Maybe he's sticking it to the man as well in his own way. Joel, good morning. You're a great value in the Expat Man Cave. It was hilarious on Friday night. I've had to change the rating on YouTube to 18. It was our virtual pub, and it was very pubby and blokey on Friday night. Joel, you were amazing, and I think we are going to find you a date. If that's what you want, come on, I'm sure you do, and it is our pleasure to help you there. And there were a few other ladies on one of our other programs who are interested in an Expats Portugal dating application, so we may well have to do that. Joel, I knew it was you. Natalie Harknett, morning, really hoping we can get to Portugal soon. And this is where we're getting with people, isn't it? It's like, this is not funny anymore. We need to get back to Portugal. Or for some of our friends in America, this is not funny. We need to make plans. We want to get to Portugal and have a look. So let's see what we can do to keep that picture. Certainly from our point of view, we can keep your pilot light lit. And we can keep you abreast of the changes. Unfortunately, we're not that good yet at influencing national, global political policy. But who knows? We'll chip away at that as well. After Gary's experience on the Facebook naughty step, maybe he's galvanized to do such a thing. Anna, can you move your picture over to the left and Bernie will disappear into the side? Oh, leave Bernie alone. He means well. But then you have to look at more of Carl, says Peggy. Yes, Peggy, is it beginning? Is the banter starting? You are, I think, the Muhammad Ali of this boxing bout, just to try and decide the best place, psyching out your opponents with your poetic ways. I may have to represent Central Portugal, and I am already scared to face you in the ring, but I will do it. Andrea Pereira, bon dia. We had snow and thunder here last night. Where are you? In London, is that? Andrea, my mother in London. Sent me some pictures, from my teenage home, and a view I'm very familiar with, looking out over Charing Cross Hospital. Actually, doing amazing work there. Where my stepfather is, unfortunately, at the moment. But yes, snow falling on that familiar view from the kitchen window of my family home in London. Amazing. And you had the same, Andrea. Victoria Benson, bon dia. I thought you were going to say Australia. I wonder how she managed that. No, Atlanta. Staying safe in Atlanta, friend of the Man Cave, honorary female in the Man Cave, Victoria Benson. Good morning to you, Victoria. Hank saying, hi, Peggy. Thanks for the greeting on the forum. Hank is among us on the Expats Portugal forum as well. So all of this wonderful bonhomie, camaraderie and chatting that we do, you can continue, of course, on the Expats Portugal forum. Do please sign up over there. Anna is in Tavira. Hello from Tavira, Anna. Marichenko, you are every name. That is a translation, perhaps, then, of your name there. Still very enigmatic and mysterious. UB Ominomen. I see UB as in you are. You are every name. Got it now. I worked on my Algarve article all weekend. It's fantastic, says Peggy. I'm even scared now. Oh, my word. UB Ominomen. Kind of lazy handle I came up with not too long ago. Okay, it's good. I think it conjures up a certain kind of Bond baddie vibe there. We should be afraid, very afraid. Bon dia from Povoa de Vargim, having a lazy morning here. And why wouldn't you, Mark? Cold and and wet, have a duvet day, distracted by the name Joe here. I also go by Joe, so we can call you be Ominomen Joe as well. You can call me Joe. Bon dia para todos from John Smith. Hey John, how are you? Good morning to you both, and good morning from New Jersey. It's 4 a.m. and on my way to work in New Jersey there. I love what I hear about the Portuguese community in New Jersey. Amazing sense of humor. And those Portuguese kids, they're from around there, aren't they? Hilarious on Facebook, Portuguese kids and their videos. It can be a bit rude sometimes, but very funny. And I think that's part of all that New Jersey Portuguese humor hybrid, right? Thank you to you and good morning to you. Have a great day at work. Vera, that story some months ago when he jumped in the Atlantic to help a struggling swimmer blew me away. Yeah, that's our president here. Tell me more, everybody, about how you're feeling about the Portuguese presidential result. Let's put that up on the screen just to give you a little bit of a prompt there. And yes, he is. That was pretty heroic and felt quite uncontrived to me. The doc, bon dia from Brum, my dears. Cheesy. It's cheesy in Brum this morning. I wonder why. Bon dia from a wet, warm Tavira. Always a funny description of the weather, but always brings a smile to my face. Wet, warm Wet and windy, either of those combinations work for me. Middle of an interview, and he jumps into the ocean to help. Just well, absolutely, Hank. Andre's here as well. Bon dia, alegria. Now, what does that mean exactly? I mean, alegria, is that, sort of beauties? Good morning, beauty. Grace, how lovely. Chris Rattenbury from Devon. Can I have any info on internal lakes, such as the one near Santa Susana? Can you swim, kayak in those areas, please? That does go on. Not at the moment, though, Chris. But yes, join our forum as well, Chris. It'd be fantastic to have you there on the expat. You don't have to live here to be, or an expat to be on the Expats Portugal forum, I should point out hastily. All are welcome with any sort of interest in Portugal. But yes, there is that lake as well where the Boom Festival used to be. Please help Chris in the comment there, folks. And Wednesday, of course, ask anything about Portugal. A good venue for such a question, and we'll go into it in deeper detail. Frozen North up here in Birmingham, cars practicing for the Winter Olympics, needless to say. Not happy, read the election result. I guess you wanted a more socialistic outcome and maybe less prominence for Chega from your political persuasion. The doc. Definition of Portuguese revolution coup. A big deep sigh and a raised eyebrow and a head shake. True, but it was enough in the Carnation Revolution to bring about a revolution and change of government that the world, I think, should know more about. That is an exemplary way to do a revolution, is it not? It was beautiful and a sign in these times to the populations of the world, I think. He's just about hugs and kisses, but if I wanted that, I would vote for a nun. Best quote of the morning from a Portuguese person from Graça. He's just about hugs and kisses. If I wanted that, I'd vote for a nun. You see, for Portuguese people, they want the president to be a check and balance. And that's a criticism, as I understand it, of Marcelo. He's not challenging enough to the other politicians. What else do you think about that? That's great, Graça. Good morning from Paulo Mendes. And good morning as well from the unofficial ambassador of Castanheira de Pera, or as I'm going to rename it, Castanheira de Pita, because he is synonymous with the place now, Castanheira de Pita. Looking forward to the big village festa this week, along with swimming in the lake, drinking with my friends, and still dreaming. It's grim, Pete. It's so grim, man. You've got your memories. Make memories. He has seemed a little like a great guy when he has visited the Algarve. He walks with the common folk and talks to them and acts interested in the problems and tries to encourage tourism here when COVID is under control. Yeah, absolutely. And that is the least he can do for sure. And he does that very well, notwithstanding what Graça is saying there. Excuse me, just going to have a glass of Portuguese water. Oh, that's nice. Fiona, tell them to keep their hands in their pockets. Keep it under your shirt, as my mentor Jeff used to say. And she said it again, she's shouting this time. If I wanted hugs and kisses, I would have voted for a nun. All right, we got it, Graça, definitely. Did I say hugs and kisses? I said walks and talks with the resident. Valerie, morning from how do I say this? Alfa near San Martino. Bit overcast here this morning. Work and some painting on for today. Yeah, working from home, of course. Can't go into a lovely new office in San Martino de Porto. Did you like my video short? Did I do it justice, Valerie? Fiona, yeah, she was whisked in by Bombeiros. Nothing at all with her. Nothing wrong at all with her, but I think I can't quite make that. But she will survive. If anyone is close by Lera District Hospital and could drop anything off, it would be much appreciated, of course. Just send me a message, says Fiona. We'll do what we can. And the doc, Fiona, email or FB me. Not promising, but I'll see what I can do. He does live over that way, or he normally does anyway. How lovely, doc. Thank you. Hola, bon dia, Carl from Marcus Valbon. Doc giving his email address in there. That's fantastic. Baby daddy not allowed back to visit until later in the week and couldn't even source the needed undies. Oh, lady products. Can you imagine? And obviously, poor dad. I've been in this situation. It's all about the mum and the baby, of course. But spare a thought for a man, an expat dad in Portugal, trying to buy ladies' underwear, lady products, if his Portuguese isn't that good and he's barely got 2 cents to rub together. But he was up against it last night. Wash kit and everything was closed last night. Of course, a bit of chocolate or some juice or any other normal post-giving birth gifts would be much loved, or anything for a tiny baby such as hats and nappies. Maybe one of the things we could resort to is to post things to this mum and baby. That's another option, isn't it, Fiona? If people are, they can't go out really. And so maybe posting to maybe get in touch with Fiona if you feel like you could put a little care package together to post in to mum and baby, and a cigar, of course, for dad. Penny Albertella in Devon, good bon dia. Sunny here in Brixham. All right, Penny, we don't need to hear that sort of thing on the Good Morning Portugal show when it's raining here. I do need to understand your British jokes. All right, we all need to understand our British jokes at times, Joel, but you're doing ever so well, mate. You know, doing a show with us on a Friday night in the man cave, I take my hat off to you, I really do. How do you say Tinder in Portuguese? That's easy. Tinder or Tinder. Or Tinder. Lovely Madeira. It's so warm, says Marcus Vauban. English people can wait to fly again. Oh, stop it, Joel. We need to return to Portugal too. So, of course you do, John. Is Peggy suggesting that Carl needs a head transplant? That's not nice. She's just psyching me out, ready for the Algarve versus Central Portugal debate. I love Bernie, says Penny. See, to British socialists, Bernie is a fantastic character. No doubt about it. Shame. Oh, my goodness. Shame on you, Peggy. It's getting a bit eggy. Peggy making it eggy in the comment today, this morning. Snow, thunder, North Wales, of course. It's North Wales. It's just any sort of week in North Wales, isn't it? It was only a matter of time, Gary. How very dare they? Indeed. Catching up, I think, just about with the comments now. Bon dia, can you still go outside and hug a tree during lockdown? If it's in your garden, Doreen, you can. But like, even the trees in the garden are saying, "Oh no, not again." Can you not go out and hug other trees? Yeah, if you have a tree in the garden, says Joe. Otherwise, it will have to be, I don't know, your rubber cheese plant or whatever, your rubber plant. I was going to say rubber plant before anyone gets carried away. Prayers and blessings to your stepfather. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, old Bucko, he's in. He was in an old folks home, in that awful situation of being in an old folks home and having that terrible call. Seeing my mum on the other end of the phone, and he's on oxygen behind the screen. Oh, it's really grim at the moment. I can't, say any more than that, except it is horrible. And so many people are in that situation. But thank you, Shelley, so much. People shouting out to each other across the comments, which is lovely. Doreen, you will have to do so according to Gary's rules. Just be careful of splinters. Yeah, Gary, could you give us a quick update of the protocol on how it is how you love trees in your own special way? Or maybe not, actually. It's Monday morning and it's breakfast time. Go to the forum, everybody, for that, or join us in the Expat Man Cave. It makes me think of the Muppet Show. Joe, that's what your name is. It's spreading happiness in the comments this morning. Morning, Mark Jones, by the way, over there in Australia. Great to have your company. Alegria is happiness. Of course it is. Thank you, Marcos. What a lovely word that is as well. Alegria and graça. These beautiful Portuguese words. Not so exemplary people died in the Carnation. Oh, people did die. So it's not so exemplary. People died in it. Okay, yeah, notwithstanding that, I think it's all relative with revolutions, though, is it not, Joel? And my understanding was that it was, it wasn't through gunfire. They were almost sort of collateral. I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong on this, obviously, and I always bow and defer to the obviously the right information. But certainly, when Portuguese people are challenging my understanding, I listen, and I listen hard. Point taken, Joel. The rhyme "bon dia" from Brundia was what? Oh, I see. That's really good. That's worth living in Birmingham for, maybe. No, maybe not. Bon dia from Brumdia. Very good. I missed that. Excellent. Sorry when you have to explain things to me. But to be fair, not an escalation compared to other revolts around the world. Okay, yeah. Fair play, Joel. Thank you for that. Plenty of great rivers and lakes to explore, Chris. Lots of great campsites too. Public ones as well. Portugal boasts so many wonderful public municipal campsites, does it not? In some amazing, when I think of it, and when I see these municipal campsites in beautiful parts of Portugal, I think there's no way that would happen in England, probably not in America. It'd be privatized, and it will be a private enterprise thing. I mean, and some would say, and it would be much better if it was. I get that as well. But they have some, prime real estate locations, the municipal camping sites of Portugal. Who among you Portuguese people spent your childhoods in municipal campsites in the great places of Portugal? Tell us more. Andrea Pereira, happy Burns night to all the Scottish expats. There you go. Happy bon dia to you. Owen's here. Hey, Owen, left my greetings on WhatsApp. Oh, here we go. So maybe this is a great... Owen often responds to my call on WhatsApp. Love you for that, mate. And I will see if I might be able to play it now. There's a message coming through. Yes, we can do this. Let's turn the volume way up and see if this works and see if other people will copy this. Thank you for that message. Here we go.
Good morning from a very rainy Vaquinas here in central Portugal. Have a wonderful week, everybody.
There you go. I was a bit low on the volume, I think, at the beginning, but this is what he said.
Good morning from a very rainy Vaquinas here in central Portugal. Have a wonderful week, everybody.
There you go. How lovely is that? You can do the same, my friends, if you wish to. Let me just put that number back on. It's changed the text, the vocal texture of the show, doesn't it? With me rabbiting on for an hour. It's lovely to hear other voices. Yes, talking of other voices, hey, guess what, everybody? Philomena Friday this Friday. We have got Philomena coming back, your guide, our wonderful Portuguese friend who guides us on language and culture. Anything to do with Portuguese culture or language. She's great on that, and she understands. She's really got a good grasp, at least, of the British expat mind. So we have a right old giggle. She'll be back on Friday. And I hope to have a guest. There is a new group on Facebook, the Ribotejo group, where there's a gentleman there who I hope will be my guest. And we need to tell him that I'm an easy interview. I'm not going to rough him up or give him a hard time or quiz him too harshly. And I'm encouraging him to join me on the show to talk about the underrated Ribotejo region, the area coming out of Lisbon and making its way to take in, what is it? What's that wonderful place of the horses? Gongola? What's it called? Please tell me. The wonderful village where we have the Lusitania horses, the horsey capital of Portugal. But if you drive on the old road out of Lisbon, go over the Vasco da Gama bridge and drive through the Ribotejo Valley north. You see a fantastic side of Portugal, which you won't see on the A road, on the toll road, on the main road. So thoroughly recommend that. I really want to know what the horsey town is now. Forgive me for not calling that immediately. Again, in a Shadner voice, if I wanted hugs and kisses, I'd have voted for a nun. Phases on stun for anyone who comes nearby. Oh, here we go. Alfazarão. I got it now. Some great restaurants there. And the doc, I forgot my veggie haggis, leaving it in Leiria when I left it on my trip. So what could happen there is that mum and baby might get gifted a veggie haggis. It's not quite what we wanted, but thanks anyway. The drama. What's that? I don't understand. Oh, the drama of Kirk. This is Captain Kirk, isn't it? These Trekkies are taking over in the comments. We got to watch that. Alfazarão. Oh, I'm way behind. Hold on, let me catch it. Bon dia from California, says Thane. Hey, Thane. Good to hear from you. Chuva aqui in Los Angeles também. Also raining in LA. Hola, bon dia from Australia, from Andrew Scarborough. Hey, Andrew, how are you? Yes, we are helping out Fiona in the messages. That's fantastic. Mark Hay says it's a bit of a relief that a softer politician has been re-elected. I don't think I could handle any more right populist political madness following me from the UK. It's a thing in the world, isn't it? It really is. Plenty of moisturizer. Is that why you got banned? Oh no, that's tree hugging and not why he got banned from Facebook. Although it might be part of why he got banned from Facebook as well. Seconded your sentiments there, Mark Hay. Love a good revolution, executing cats for having monarchist thoughts in the French Revolution, and Women's Death Battalion, the only force supporting the government in Russia 1917. You see, he's a teacher. He knows these things. Does Pete Bleach. That's very good insight into history and how crazy people become when they lose their minds, and why we need moderation in politics, right? The volume is good. Thank you, expats everywhere. Josh, how are you guys this morning? Lovely to hear from you. Hey, Carl, get Stephen Fry on. I like that guy. So, okay, let's see what we can do. Love Ribotejo. Golga, that's where it is. What was I calling it? Gongola. Golga. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful region, Ribotejo, and that maybe the guy who will join us on Thursday can represent Lisbon and the Tejo Valley in the head-to-head with. I seem to be being drawn into battling with Peggy, she of the Algarve. Then he said the Alentejo. Then my God, she of the Algarve and me of Central. Gary Austin. Owen has a proper sexy voice, doesn't he? In a Barry White sort of way. Respect. He does. He does have a very sexy voice. Maybe we need to get him to do some jingles for us. I'm sure he'd be up for that. How about it, Owen? Portugal needs back the Padaria de Aljubarrota to put some in order. Okay, so is that a political movement? I thought that was a bakery. Oh, Padeira, not a Padaria. Oh, you have to be so careful, don't you? But I would give my political support to a Padaria. And I've got to say as well, Mrs. M is growing plants indoors. And these little flies are driving me nuts. What do they think I am, a herb or something? Vara Shetty, good morning, Vara. Bon dia, Carl. An icy, frosty morning in Cornwall. You've got all the big politicians of the world coming to Portugal soon. To Cornwall soon. So it's frosty, cold and frosty morning in Cornwall with spectacular sunshine. On Burns night, people often say Sláinte Mathel, which translates as good health. I hope I've done that justice. I think we need to get some of our Scottish people. Because perhaps I didn't do such a good job. Call in, folks, with that, with your how to pronounce that. I think we've got a second message from Owen. Should I do that or not?
Philomena Friday.
He's already recorded a jingle.
Philomena Friday.
Perfect. I'm enjoying this. Who else wants to send in a message that will play out? Jerry, thank you, Jerry, for bringing some sense to my befuddled head this morning. Golga, the horse capital, of course it is. Carl, thank you, Jerry. Carl the Haggis was Burns night, still recovering from man cave. Yes, actually. I have to have a word with myself about these Portuguese levels of drinking I've become accustomed to. Seriously, I'm thinking of a dry February. Peggy is a revolutionary force. Handle with care. We know this. We know she's not to be messed with. Golga is just the next village to me. It's beautiful. Oh, so you're in a cool part of Portugal there, Fiona. Thank you for that. Just done one for Friday. Listen on WhatsApp. Got it, mate. Absolutely fantastic.
Philomena Friday.
I hug fully clothed, but thanks for the splinter warning, Pete. It's a nice bit of health and safety there. Of talking of health and safety, tonight at approximately 6:15, the new collaboration that's going very well with a project I work in the UK, the AIR team. We've been working with some wonderful folks with additional needs, special needs, disabilities, and we've been doing broadcasting and podcasting as you might imagine with me. But they're also horticulturalists, and we've gone into a joint venture. Oh, incoming freshly squeezed orange juice and a cup of tea from Mrs. M. Thank you so much. Meu amor.
Good morning, everybody.
She's saying good morning to everybody. Get that child out of here. Hello. Ooh. He's not happy about it. Thank you for my orange juice, though. Laranja. Sumo laranja. No, he's not cheering up at all with that. Thank you very much. With your foot, very good. Now, what happened there, folks, was that Mrs. M very kindly brought me a cup of tea and orange juice, and as she turned nonchalantly, borderline sexily, to leave the room, she pulled the broadband cable out of my computer. Oh, thanks. That was a moment. Definitely. Where was I? Oh, yeah, our joint venture with the AIR team, now called the Fresh Air team, of course, because we are getting into the garden and encouraging people of all abilities to get into their garden. A great thing to do in lockdown. I'm sure you'll agree. We've got some great videos already, thanks to Lee Grady, who cometh the hour, cometh the man, cometh the gardener. Lee McGrady has been doing us some fabulous little videos on our Facebook group, showing us what to plant at this time of year. And tonight, when we talk with the Fresh Air team, we're talking about health and safety in the garden. Because some people we know haven't been in the garden very much, haven't grown anything, and obviously we need to make sure they're safe. So we will be doing that, as well as figuring out what to do at this time of year, the 25th of January. What needs to go in the ground right now? What preparations can you make? And even if you've got a balcony or a windowsill, how can you grow a bit of your own food? Ripe fruit. What is this? Why he got banned from Facebook? Ripe fruit, Carl. Or is that another recommendation that should be used in conjunction with tree hugging? Amazing, Gary. You have excelled yourself this morning, Mr. Ambassador of Al Viagra. If you can't take the heat of the written word, stay away from the typewriter. Wow. The ladies, the donnas of the community this morning are being pretty forceful, aren't they? And I'm all for it, I have to say. You know, sometimes us younger ones do need a bit of a slap round the ear, don't we? Or they're giving society a slap round the ear, I think, here. And, you know, reminding us gently but firmly who's boss. Nice one, Peggy. Nice one, Grassa, this morning. All is well, but hoping this rain rolls out. Kaylee's getting ready to record on Expat Empire podcast. Expat Empire, my goodness, how you've grown. So it's me and Sia and a fussy Pincho. Oh, how good. I think I've got your daughter's name wrong there. Forgive me for that. I hate it when that happens, when I've done that incorrectly. But I think that's not the whole spelling or the right name there necessarily on the screen. That's thrown me a bit, and do forgive me for. Maybe it is Sia. Fantastic, basically. Oh, before we go, Josh, thank you for inviting me onto your Expats Everywhere. I did respond, and I would love to talk with you on your podcast and your YouTube channel. Let your people speak to my people, or let's chat to each other by email, is what I mean by that. Fantastic. I don't know what that is, but we'll go with it, Hank. Absolutely fantastic in capital letters. For your little gnats. I beg your pardon. Oh, I see. For your little gnats, put out a bottle, not a bowl, a bottle with a narrow neck with sugar water. Oh, I see. So they're inquisitive about that, and they go in there. And then you can make a nice soup later on. Love Owen's jingle. We do, don't we? Should we hear it again? Assuming that it's still plugged in.
Philomena Friday.
Philomena Friday. If anyone's speaking to Philomena, do tell her that she's got her own jingle now, thanks to Owen. I'm Scottish, but no idea how to pronounce the second part of that. So we'll just say Happy Burns Night, shall we, for the time being. Joel, little bit of Portuguese history. Thank you. The Battle of Aljubarrota. That's a great place to visit. I've been there, and that's what he's talking about. Okay, so go and have a look at that, folks. Very useful. Great background. That jingle needs to be a thing. It certainly is. Oh, that's what the Fantastic was for. The gods demand it, dare I say. You may. You are a spokesperson? I didn't think so. It's not me or more. It's me. What did I do? What's different with me or more and me or more? I obviously need some love coaching from you, Joel, in the art of wooing the ladies in a Portuguese way. If you can't take the heat of the written word, stay away from the typewriter. Peggy, Leviticus 3:16. Easy, Hank. Just turned up, says Lee McGrady. Been a busy morning. Good morning. Just talking about you. I hope you heard it. Oh, Sia, Valencia. I knew there was something more to that. Hello, Valencia. Good morning. Hope you're not in your dad's studio pulling cables out this morning. We'll get it done. We've gotten the email and needed to get through our collaboration with Amelia and JP. Went off Saturday. We'll get your book today with your agent. Yes, thank you very much, Josh. Speak to my agent. Marvelous. My literary and theatrical agent. Looking forward to it. I so am as well. Meu amor. Okay, I think I'm getting there. And maybe Owen could do us another jingle. Bon dia, meu amor. I don't know. Let's get Owen coached and let's get that jingle run. Okay, so let's have a look at these actual figures then for the presidential election. Coming up to 10 o'clock again, as we always seem to do. Your comments most welcome on the presidential result. We've had a few already. If I wanted a kisser and a hugger, I'd have voted for a nun. It's pretty outstanding this morning. And those emigres from UK, glad that Shager didn't do so well, and feeling that sense around that part of the result. Came in third, did our Shager candidate here in Portugal. So let's bring it onto the screen, which may stimulate more of your comment, insight, and wisdom. Then again, it may not. Let's have a look. Eleições presidenciais 2021. Let's have a look on the screen at that. Did that work? No, it didn't. Let's give it another go. A touchy old bit of software, but a marvelous bit of software, I'm sure you'd agree, that allows us all to talk together of a morning. And I'm hoping this is going to be translated Oh, thank goodness for that. Always translate Portuguese. Yes, thank you, Google. And of course, be careful when using Google because it's often Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese that it's translated into. So there you have the result. The very interesting thing from my point of view, and it doesn't say it there, but I think the abstention, the amount of people who didn't vote was staggering. We have, but for the results that did come in, as somebody, I do need that bottle with soapy water and a thin neck. I'm battling with fruit flies here. Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, 60.70% or 60.7% of the vote here in Portugal. Ana Gomes, she notably, who was the butt of Andre Ventura's joke about red lipstick, which of course to me, I mean, that was a massive amount of political self-indulgence. I did take the point, but I also thought blue lips, the cold people, the poor of Portugal, needed to be remembered with their blue lips at the time they were having their little spat in the warm corridors of politics. But Ana Gomes, 12.97, nearly 13% of the vote, and Andre Ventura with Chega coming in at just under 12. So you see there, don't you, that Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, by far and away the most popular candidate, over 4 times as much as his nearest rival. They're nowhere near him, are they? And which I think is quite interesting. Or is it polarizing? Is it the devil you know? What is going on here? And what do we make of the Chega coming in at third, albeit again only 12%? But then again, more than 1 in 10 people who voted, of course, in Portugal, is of that sensibility of enough is enough, and are being, in this far right vibe. I think that's a lazy thing in politics, and it causes too much focus on the emotion of politics to be using those labels of fascist and far right and all this sort of thing. We need to talk more. We definitely need to talk more about what's really going on. Why are people so disenchanted and upset and angry? That's what we need to talk about, not be stuck in the anger and frustration. And let's find out what it is people have had enough of, and let's see if we can do anything about it. And of course, then we go full circle back to the incumbent, where some might say the frustration lies. People are frustrated, not feeling represented. They join crazy parties, arguably, according to some, and you can understand that on one level, because the political establishment, political elites are perhaps not doing enough to help enough people, and frustration is leaking out. And why wouldn't it in such difficult and challenging times? The context is not good, is it? People are struggling, suffering, losing their jobs, worried about their health, literally losing loved ones. We need good politicians, don't we? We need politicians who understand people. And would you say that's an accurate representation of being understood here in Portugal? We're already seeing some don't think that, whilst others are glad to see that Andre Ventura was way behind the incumbent and the president who's going into his second term. I see abstentions there. Look, here's a little bit of background for you. Those of you who aren't expats, those of you who are expats who aren't Portuguese, 308 municipalities, is that? No, not municipalities, 308 the concelhos, the counties. Yeah, concelhos, I think that is 308, made up of 3,000 freguesias, the parishes, just over 3,092 voting on that level, and 99 consulates, of course, around the world. But 60.51% did not vote. That is extraordinary, is it not? Null votes, and I don't know what these are, but I guess they're like spoiled papers that you would get in UK. That's what I'm used to. Null votes 0.94% and white votes 1.1%. Maybe Portuguese people can explain that to us. But there's the result. What do people make of that? Let's have a look, and we can see here Vitorino Silva is so funny on TV. I mean, the others in the race barely reaching 10%. It's almost like obviously there is a point to it, but that level of polarization, mathematical polarization, the winner gets 60. The next two get around, like 13 and 12. And the others are just like dribbles of votes. What is that also saying? That doesn't speak well of parliamentary representation, does it? Where so many votes are focused on one person. Let's go back a little bit here. Peggy and Penny, fierce, says the doc. Yeah, we're getting into political territory. Be nice, everybody. 5 more years of the same, says Joel. Oh, here we go. Portuguese insight here. A president that doesn't question the actions of the government. This is the biggest criticism I hear of Marcelo. Us from other countries where we are quite disgusted with the behavior of our politicians gravitate towards Marcelo because he does seem like such a genuine, nice person. And then, of course, when you see here Portuguese people responding to that, he's too nice. He's too nice. Enough of the hugging and kissing and selfies and rescuing maidens from the Atlantic. Challenge. That's what's needed. Shager's candidate, says Antonio F. Andre Ventura, won in Namibia, apparently. That's fascinating. How does that happen? But there will obviously, I only asked that question out of my ignorance. There will be some very interesting reasons for that, and that's why I asked the question. I want to be educated on this. Gary, on a slightly different note, delighted to do this. Can you send my niece Ruby a big good morning, Portugal, happy birthday from yesterday down there in San Martin de Porto. Happy birthday, Ruby. I think she was 15, is that right? Happy birthday to you, Ruby. Hope you had a great day. And that I hope the school closure is good for you and that you're having a great time at home in this funny time to be a teenager. So lots of love and best wishes from us all, and parabéns a você from the Good Morning Portugal community. Same percentage abstentions of total electorate as support among those who did vote for the winner. Dreadful result for democracy. But also, we do have to scratch a little bit. It's called an abstention. But it's not. That's you could say, semantic. But abstention, as in people didn't want to vote because they were scared of catching COVID. Okay, that's a sort of medical abstention, isn't it? Rather than we're going to teach the politicians a lesson by not going out to vote. What Portuguese people? I'm asking you, Portuguese people in our community here, what are Portuguese people thinking about that? Did people turn their back, or were they just too afraid to go out? Or as we call it in America, Tuesday. I'm sure that's a really good punchline to something that I can't quite put my finger at the moment, Hank. But I do love your political insight and comment. PCP and PS worried why they lost votes in Alentejo. Alentejo would appear to be like parts of the UK that would. Of all the places of Portugal, I imagine it is analogous with the states of the United States and parts of the red. What was it? The red, the traditionally red parts of politically red parts of England that voted Tory for the first time. This is the disenchantment, isn't it? Disenfranchisement. This is what we saw in Alentejo. I think I envy you guys for having such a diverse field. I wish we had so many. Oh, that is a really good point, Hank. Choose between these two is the way in America, isn't it? To me, that I agree with you. But wouldn't we just have the same sort of thing here? That's probably what's gone on, isn't it? It's like, well, what's the point of having all these people? They only get 2 votes each. We'll just go head to head in a binary polar situation. You've got to have 3, haven't you? 3 must be the law in politics. You do need opposition, and you need, the curveball of the third party to really get some representation going. At the very least, 3. Good point there. Hank. More great comments coming in. Null votes, says Antonio, is when people vote in more than one candidate or something in the ballot or something similar. Or right, what a load of old pants this is on their ballot paper. And you can forgive them for doing so, in my view. There was a name on the ballot paper that wasn't meant to be there. Any vote for that name became a null ballot. Oh, it's like a trick question in the voting. Thank you for that, Carol Hallberg. That's great to see you here. Jenny, good morning to you, Jenny. Bon dia todos. No travels abroad for us anymore here. So you're locked down. No traveling in or out of Belgium. My goodness, what a time to be alive for us human beings. To be fair, a lot of people could have been worried about COVID. That's what I'm thinking. Did they turn their back politically, or were they too scared to go out? They've been told for nearly a year now, off and on, to stay indoors. And then you could try and make them go out to vote, whilst terrifying them for the rest of the time. Like, if you go out, you'll be fined, and this, that, and the other. So you can understand why people didn't go out for that. But then you wonder about how representative the vote is after all of that. The Portuguese political system is I thought you said semi-professional. It's semi-presidential. The seat of president does not reflect parliament. Okay, thank you, Paulo Simões, for that constitutional input. They're very good. In recent years, it is only a reflection of the person and not of the parties with parliamentary seat. Okay, so it is a personality figurehead. Am I right in saying that? I think someone might have been we know when we hear that little sound, we know that someone has been motivated to come in with a quote. Let's have a look. Have we got? Oh no, just got messages coming in. Peggy has been misunderstood. Okay, yeah, Peggy, we're only joshing, and we have so much love and respect for you. You have no idea. We absolutely, and these things can get confused in the comments. So the typewriter comment was writing about Portugal, not about politics. But we are also very open to you being very direct with us, Peggy. Absolutely, we don't have any problem with that. But yeah, no one likes being misrepresented, and that was a comment about writing about Portugal, not about politics, as I understand it. Okay. PS didn't endorse Gomes, says the doc, of a socialistic tendency. I'm hoping he won't mind me saying that. Just going to have a sip of my tea before we carry on with this searing political analysis. Oh, Lord, that was worth having me broadband cable ripped out for. Lovely cup of tea, Mrs. M. Thank you. Paolo goes on to say the figure of the president is almost decorative. He doesn't have many powers. So in that way, he could afford to be a bit more challenging, I think we could safely say, Paolo. But thank you for this, Paolo Simões, really helpful. Setting out the rules for the great debate is Prosecco Peggy going bare knuckle or gloves on. I don't want bare knuckles in my face, even metaphorically, thank you, Jerry. Stirring it up there from the side. You're supposed to be my trainer, aren't you? Give me a rub down as I come in. Jerry, where are you on this? Central Portugal, surely. Although I guess you have to be. Are you trainer? Are you representing? Or are you staying independent? I wonder. It's the politics of the best part of Portugal now. Everything's politics, isn't it? We typically have less than half our people vote, is what I meant by the Tuesday comment. Oh, okay. It sucks. Yeah. That's normal in America, is it? Having less than half of the people voting. I mean, there's your disenfranchisement and disenchantment right there. Less than half people voting, and people really honestly saying, "What is the point?" And I have some sympathy with that. I do, and I know I'm going to get a bashing for that with my voting record, or should I say, lack of voting record, and all of that. And I've run that gauntlet and faced those brickbats. But I do understand it as well. We do have a Green Party in the US, but yeah, but they rarely get many votes. On the few times I voted Green. You don't want to know what else I voted for, and I don't have to tell you. So there, but. Green Party, you would think, wouldn't you? There's a good vote. And this is the problem. You people, who are seriously interested in taking that environmental approach to politics, they also think, what's the point? We're not getting represented here. Or run Lord Buckethead, which would help drive the turnout. You've got to love British politics for that, haven't you? Having Buckethead next to Boris. Or are you talking about Boris? Is that his new name, given his performance? I was registered Green for a while, says Hank. Love you, Hank. Even more for that. It's incredible. The home of freedom and democracy has only two choices. Good point. Good point, Gary. What is the normal rate of election turnout in Portugal in a non-COVID year? That's a great question, Carolyn. Really good. And it's around 40 to 50. Oh, okay. So it's the same anyway. It looks like COVID hasn't really changed anything. I can do fierce. We know that, Penny. She can do fierce if necessary. And that's what you want, isn't it? These are the best people. The silk glove containing an iron fist if necessary. The Socialist Party, PS, re Joel's comment, re Alantasia. Okay, thank you for that. Jerry, Hank's talking to you, Jerry. Gloves on, but knuckles wrapped in foil. I'm not having that in my face, actually or metaphorically, if I'm going to put myself in the ring. No one likes being punched in the ring, as they say. Hi, Carolyn, going incognito. I don't think so. The problem with the Greens, are they supporting neoliberalism? Oh, my goodness. But Penny, which party in its own way is not supporting neoliberalism? Is that the political philosophical note we end on today at 3 minutes past 10? Have we exhausted and depressed ourselves sufficiently with politics this morning? I'm still trying to strike the right balance, obviously, here on the Good Morning Portugal show, and love you for your input, absolutely, and love you for your longevity of listenership. You know, people staying with us for an hour in the mornings. Oh, here's another comment. Carolyn, in terms of presidency, it varied between 24% in the 70s. That's how much they were interested in the 70s. My goodness. And 60% this year. That would be abstention then, wouldn't it? Rather than, so they voted a lot. We need to know, Antonio F., which way around that is. Is that showing up or not showing up? Hey, yes, Penny. She can do fierce. There's support coming in for you. Your fierce side there, Penny. I prefer to slap the hell and back. It's more humiliating than a punch. I prefer to slap the hell and back. Oh my goodness. So is that you fantasizing about me being slapped in the ring or on my back? Joel, I'm getting really afraid now, and we need other people to come in with their standing up for their part of Portugal. And then you'll get a taste of what politics is like. In Belgium, voting is compulsory. It's always interesting. I think it's the same in Australia, isn't it? When people have to vote. That changes the game. Or does it? Do you just compulsorily vote for a system that, again, causes much disenchantment and disenfranchisement, if that is indeed a word? Folks, you've been amazing today as we've looked forward to the week, weather-wise, and guests. Philomena Friday. Let's do that one more time. And, of course, look back on the week that was, including our new presidential, well, same president, new result, same president, as it turns out. And don't forget Friday.
Philomena Friday.
Isn't that marvelous? Thank you, Owen. Looking forward to more jingles coming in from Owen in his sexy voice. Yes, Antonio, Carnation Revolution led to involvement increasing. And no, that's how I physically express my content with a slap. He prefers a slap to a punch. All right, easy, Joe. Yes, it's about abstention. Okay. So it's 24% abstention in the 70s and 60 now. Okay, so there you go. Signs of the times there, folks. What are we going to do? We here, I think the demographic, it's safe to say, are the elders and the elders in the making of society. We do not want to be put on the naughty step by Silicon Valley. Show us some respect. And it's you know, I have to say, you boomers and us sub-boomers, the children of the boomers, it's on us to sort this mess out and lead the way. Let's keep talking. Let's keep loving and respecting, because I believe that to be the way forward. And let's see what we can do to get a grip, get a grasp on the medical, the health situation of the world, as well as this political situation that I think has been well cameoed and illustrated with the discussion we have this morning. Good news from Owen. I will try and do the days of the week. Oh my goodness. Yes, more than welcome there. Hank saying, always a great way to end my day, guys. Nice seeing everyone, but nothing but love to all of you. Absolutely. You see, we can talk about politics without falling out here, which is fantastic. And this going back, Doc, to the 70s, rather gave hope, which tailed off. Yes, the revolutionary zeal of the 70s seems to have given way to what we've experienced here from 20%, was it? 24% abstention to 60 currently. But we still don't really know if that was medical fear or fear of politics and disillusionment. Okay, everybody, have a great day. Take care. Bye for now. See you tonight for a bit of gardening at 6:15 on some of these platforms. We will be on our YouTube channel. We will be on the Happy Homesteaders group as well, at least for a bit of gardening chat tonight. Take care. Bye for now. Beijinhos, abraços.